Hello everyone, myself Minhajul Haq. In today's lecture, I am going to present a brief description about atomic structure. This is a very interesting topic. Let's start. So, the term atom came from a Greek word, atomos, which means individual, because at first it was thought that atom is the smallest element in our universe. It cannot be created or destroyed. So when we are talking about atom, the first question comes into our mind that what is atom? Atom is the smallest unit into which matter can be divided without the release of electrically charged particles. It also the smallest unit of matter that has the characteristics properties of chemical element. Now, one question may be arise that what is matter? Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. All matter is made of atoms. Atoms are building blocks of matters. Everything in our universe is made of a large number of atoms. Next, from starting of 18th century, there are many scientists came and gave their assumption about atomic structure. So we are going to now talking about Dalton's atomic model. Dalton atomic model is also known as billiard board model, which is developed in 1803. This is how the journey of atomic physics started. So according to Dalton, there are so many assumptions he made. First assumption was all matter is made of atoms. Atoms of an element are identical and each element has different atoms. Atom can engage in a chemical reaction. Atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed, and atoms are indivisible. This is the key assumption what the Dalton made. Later in later in the year of 1911, British scientist Rutherford proved that all the assumptions Dalton made are not exact. There are some drawbacks, which are the indivisibility of an atom was proved wrong. An atom can be further subdivided into protons, neutrons, and electrons, but Dalton says that atom is indivisible. However, an atom is the smallest particle that takes in chemical reaction, which was correct. Now, according to Dalton, the atoms of same element are similar in all respects. However, atoms of some element vary their masses and densities. These atoms of different masses are called isotopes. For example, chlorine has two isotopes with mass number 35 and 37. Next drawback of Dalton's atomic theory is Dalton also claimed that atoms of different elements are different in all respects. This has been proven wrong in certain cases. Argon and calcium atom each have atomic mass of 40 amu. These atoms are known as isobars. According to Dalton, all atoms of different elements combined in a simple whole number. The ratio from compounds. This is not observed in complex organic compounds like sugar. The theory fails to explain the existence of allotropes. It does not account the different properties of charcoal and graphite and diamond. Next, this is the historical development of atomic structure. First, scientist Dalton in 1803 came up with his billiard board model and the journey of atomic physics started. Next, the scientist J.J. Thomson in 1904 came up with his plum pudding model, and J.J. Thomson is the first scientist to discover electron. Next, Rutherford model came in 1911 and Bohr model by Niels Bohr came in 1913 respectively. And finally, the scientist Schrödinger introduced electron cloud model in 1926. As we earlier mentioned that the Dalton's atomic model has so many drawbacks. That's why Rutherford in 1911 came up with his own atomic model, which is known as Rutherford atomic model. So according to Rutherford, atom has positively charged central part, which is called nucleus, and electrons are distributed around nucleus. Mass of an atom is centered at the nucleus, and compared with total volume of an atom, the volume of nucleus is very small. This is the four key point assumption Rutherford made. Later, it was seen that the Rutherford atomic model is also not the exact. There are also some drawbacks, which are, according to Maxwell, electrons should emit electromagnetic radiation as any accelerated charged particle has tendency of emitting electromagnetic radiation, and we know electron is negatively charged particle. Rutherford also stated that the electrons do revolve around the nucleus in their orbits. Hence, due to kinetic motion of electron, the radiation shall lead to the shrinking of the electrons in less than 10 seconds, as the atom will keep on losing energy. Therefore, Rutherford model mixed with Maxwell theory, it was realized that the model is fluid. If we look into this picture, a negatively charged electron, if electron around revolve around positively charged nucleus. If electron continuously loses energy, after some time it will collide with positively charged nucleus. But this is not happened in real life. So this is the drawback of Rutherford atomic model. There are also a drawback in Rutherford atomic model, which are Rutherford did explain the revolving electrons around the nucleus. However, the physicists did not mention the electrons were placed inside, which ended up Rutherford model incomplete of model of atom. Next, later, Danish scientist Niels Bohr in 1930 tried to resolve the drawbacks of Rutherford's atomic model. Niels Bohr in 1913 gave his own atomic model known as Bohr's atomic model. According to Niels Bohr, electrons revolve around a nucleus in a fixed circular path termed as orbits or shells or energy levels, and the orbits are termed as stationary orbit. Every circular orbit will have certain amount of fixed energy, and these circular orbits are termed as orbital shell. The electron will not radiate energy as long as the continue of revolve around the nucleus in the fixed orbital shells. So these are the key points assumptions Niels Bohr made. Niels Bohr also made some assumptions which are, so according to Niels Bohr, the different energy level or orbits or shells are represented by two ways, K, L, M, N or 1, 2, 3, 4, where K is equivalent to 1, L is equivalent to 2 and so on. So lowest energy level of electron is called ground state. So according to Niels Bohr, the maximum number of electron K orbit contain is 2, which is came from the formula 2n square, where for K n is 1. Similarly, we can we can see that for L n is 2. If we put 2 in the space of n, we got 8, and for M the maximum number of electron is 18, and similarly for N is 32. Next, though the Bohr atomic model is also not correct in every aspect, there are also some drawbacks. Next, Schrodinger in 1926 introduced electron cloud model and tried to resolve the drawbacks of Bohr atomic model. Though this is not a part of our topics today, we will know more about it in our higher studies. Now, if we summarize our topic today, then we can see that this is the nucleus of an atom, and electrons are revolve around the atoms in a different energy shell or orbit. The nucleus is made of proton and neutron. Protons are positively charged and neutrons are neutral. So, so nucleus is as a whole positively charged. The mass of the nucleus is very high compared to the whole atom, and the volume of the nucleus is very small. If we imagine that a tennis ball is a nucleus of an atom, the radius of this atom will be around 5 km. Now imagine how small the volume of nucleus is. Now there are some key point about nucleus. Nucleus center of the atom, home of proton and neutrons, and has positively charged, which is earlier discussed. Next, now if we talk about proton, proton has a relative mass 1 and positively charged particle found inside the nucleus, as we saw the earlier slide, and number of proton determines the atomic number. Atomic number is represented by the letter Z. Next, electron. Electron is negatively charged particle found outside the nucleus. According to Rutherford atomic model, electrons are around the nucleus, but according to Bohr atomic model, electrons are in a specific energy levels called shell. Electron is represented by E. Next, neutron. Neutron has zero charge. It is a neutral particle, and a neutron has a relative mass of 1. Neutron is also found inside the nucleus. Neutron is represented by N. Among proton, neutron, and electron, electron is the more lightest particle, and neutron is the most heaviest particle. And proton, the charge of proton and charge of electron is same for a neutral particle. If the number of proton is exist the number of electron of a atom, then the atom is called positively charged. Similarly, if the number of electron is exist the number of proton, then the atom is called negatively charged. So this was the brief description about atomic structure, and that's all from my side. Thank you.